austerity has never succeeded in bringing a large economy back to full employment. And there's been a lot of debate in the UK and other countries, and people looked at various examples. There are a few small countries which engaged in austerity, and as they did that, got back to full employment, that had a downturn, and they wound up doing better.
Who are they?
Well, I'll explain what. There's a basic law of economics where you have aggregate demand. When you're in a recession, what matters is total demand. And what is total demand? Consumption plus investment plus government expenditure plus net exports. If government spending goes down, what happens to aggregate demand? It goes down, and what would normally happen to an economy? It shrinks, it gets worse off. And that's what was happened in Spain, it's what happened in Greece, it happened in Latvia, it happened in UK. So it's predictable, it's what happens in almost every case. But I said there are a couple countries that those who are wedded to the notion of austerity always cite, but they don't analyze them very carefully. So what I said is, what can happen that you don't go down?
You say someone needs to invest.
Well, no. Look at if nothing else happens, the economy is going down, you're not going to invest more. So what is the other thing that could possibly fill in the hole?
Maybe lowering taxes?
No, that's
the deficit.
Exports, net exports. So the only way to do it is exports. Now, there are some countries, if you choose your neighbors carefully, and your timing of having a recession carefully, then, and this is an important lesson for those who are in different countries, choose your recession very carefully. And then, if your neighbor is having a boom, and you have flexible exchange rates, you lower your exchange rate and you export. And your exports then make up for the loss of government spending. Is that good? But it's not because of the government cutback that you recovered, it's because of the exports that you recovered. It's not austerity that caused the recovery, it was the exports that caused the recovery. An example, Canada did it in the early 90s, and Sweden did it also in the early 90s. So there are a couple cases where this has happened. But Europe is not going to happen in Europe. Why is it not going to happen in Europe? Who is Europe going to export to? The United States? Our economy is not that robust. And the United States, we're not yet talking about the United States, but the United States also hopes to export its way out of the recession. But what's true about some of all the exports of the world? They have to equal the sum of the imports. That's the theorem. So we can't all export our way out of the recession, at least not easily. As I sometimes put it, exports to Mars are still limited. So we can't increase our net exports to Europe, and Europe increase its net exports to the United States. So that's not going to work.